Check out the new How to Draw comic book only at bladecomics.com.
Hey, it's Christopher from bladecomics.com. I've got another drawing tutorial for you. Let's get right into it. If you notice, I've got a really large playing card. I use that to rest my hand on. It's really a good tip. It keeps your paper nice and clean and keeps you from smudging and things like that. But keep in mind that you shouldn't slide it over your artwork too much. You can get away with a little bit, but not too much. I'm going over just some spots of my outline a little bit. I'll show you why I'm only doing some of it in a little while here. If it looks like I'm sliding the card all across the paper, I'm really not. It kind of sticks to my hand, so it sort of picks up with my hand. I'm going to use a Tortillion. This is a blending thing. They're really awesome. They help blend. It's just incredible what you can do with these things. I'll leave a list in the description box of all the different tools that I'm using. They're real cheap. I think you can get like 6 for $1, but they help blend your outlines into your regular tones, and they blend just about anything that you want. I think they make your artwork look really smooth. So I'm blending away some of that outline. And you can kind of see already that it starts to look a little bit better. Yeah, there's a good shot of it there. What I'm going to do is work on the eye. This is a picture of Lydia Cromwell from the Lydia Cromwell comic book that's available at bladecomics.com. And she has a squashy head and one big eyeball. And this might look a little weird right now, but once I get going here, you'll be able to see. She's just got one eyeball. She's a big squashy-headed cyclops. If you notice in the pupil, I leave a tiny little bit of light. It's called a catch light. That's a really important thing to make your eyes look three-dimensional. I use a somewhat, I guess, a semi-realistic style, and little stuff like that really helps with the realism part of it. I use a couple of lines to indicate the iris, and then use the Tortillion again to blend it. Another real good point is to shade the whites of the eye itself. A lot of beginners don't do that, and it ends up making your eyes look really flat. That's true on any drawing you do of anything, whether it's a male or a female or a human or a monster or whatever it is. Just making the lines around the eye itself a little bit thicker. And then I'm going to go ahead and shade some of the white of the eye. Oh, it looks like first I'm going to blend these lines a little bit. I use a thicker line on top. That helps indicate kind of the eyelashes, I guess. Anytime you use a Tortillion, even if you just do line drawings and blend the lines a little bit, it helps make everything look a little more real, so it doesn't look quite so outlined. And then I'm using the Tortillion right now to do some shading on the whites of the eye. It doesn't take very much, but a little bit will help it to look round and a bit more real. There's a little better look at it. I'll post a picture of it completed at the end after I scan it, and you'll be able to get a real good look at it. Let's see what's next. I'm going to lay down some shadow tones, I believe. Yeah, quickly lay down some shadow tones using a 2H pencil. Before I forget, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them, and I'll answer every single question in one video or another. I'd like to get as much input as possible and answer as many questions as people have. Now I'm just taking the Tortillion and just blending the areas that I just shaded with the 2H pencil. And again, this just makes it look a little more smooth, makes it more of a tone than like individual pencil lines. And you can already see that it starts to make the figure look a little more 3D right away. And that's the reason that I didn't outline everything, because I'll go back now and outline my shaded areas and then blend that outline into the shadow areas and make everything look a little more 3D again. And then take the Tortillion and blend the outlines into the shadow area again. All of this stuff is pretty easy. It does take a little time and a little patience, but to me, drawing's fun. It's better than standing behind the old barn staring at a dead skunk. If you notice right there, when I erase, I use a brush to get rid of the little pieces when I erase. That's so I don't accidentally spit on my drawing. I've done that before. I'm doing a little belt on her leg that's part of a tracking device, and you can see how easy that is to shade. In her bikini, I'm leaving a couple little white spots on that too that I can shade in. And I shaded almost to the black, but just leaving that little bit of light helps give it a three-dimensional thing. You'll see right here, I shaded all the way down. And now it's got a little more of a 3D feel to it. And her hair, I'll do some detailed stuff on hair in a different video. And that's basically it. There she is. There's a good picture of her.
Check out the new How to Draw comic book only at bladecomics.com.